The first thing you are going to need is a spoolie. It looks like this, and an eyebrow pencil. I use the NK Makeup eyebrow pencil from the hair store. It's like $1 and some change. You can get this at your local hair store, your beauty supply store, whatever you want to call it, okay? We're going to start with these two things. First thing first, you're going to brush your eyebrows up and over. Up and over. Because we don't need no nappy eyebrows. We don't need no nappy eyebrows, okay? Then we're going to start by filling in our brows. What I like to do is start not at the very front of my brow, but a little bit behind it. So right about here, I like to start and just like draw a line to the tail of my brow. Kind of like tracing a picture, right? So, and at the top, I like to do the same thing and bring it down and connect those two lines. Now I'm going to connect the two lines right at the tail of my brow. And then I'm going to fill my brow in. Okay? In the front of my brow, I'm going to take my pencil and make little hair-like strokes. Up, going up. And then I'm going to take my spoolie again and brush that product through my brow. You're going to brush that product all the way through your brow. Do the same thing on the other. Now that we have our brows filled in, next step, you need two products, a concealer and a concealer brush. It looks like this, okay? Concealer. I like to use the LA Pro concealer or e.l.f. concealer and a concealer brush, okay? To conceal your brows. And I'm going to show you guys how to. First, you're going to take some concealer and put it on the back of your hand. I like to use concealer that's maybe a shade lighter than my skin tone, or an exact match for my skin tone. If you are going for an everyday natural makeup look, I suggest that you use a concealer that's close to your skin tone. We're going to rewind for 1 second. To match your skin tone, you want to match your chest for your foundation. 9 times out of 10, your face is a lot darker than your chest, but you don't want to have a dark head and a light chest. You want everything to blend, okay? So you need to match your chest. Now let's conceal these eyebrows. Let me get a little mirror so I can see. So when concealing the bottom of your brow, I like to take my brush and go right in my arch first, right? So I'm gonna go right here and drag that product back. I'm gonna place my brush flat, so it's flat to my face like this. And I'm just gonna outline it, drag it. Then I'm gonna go to the front of my brow and do the same thing. But instead of placing my brush flat at the front of my brow, I'm gonna lift it up and kind of point it like a pen. And then I'm gonna lay it flat and drag that product to meet the other product. Once you get that outlined at the bottom, you can drag this concealer down directly on top of your eyelid. Just like that, okay? And the shade that I'm using of concealer is Fawn. F-A-W-N, Fawn. With concealing the top of my brows, I like to get a foundation shade. Not foundation. You can use your foundation, but that's not what I'm talking about. I like to use a concealer shade that is my exact color. So I'm going to use LA Pro in Chestnut. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay? It's a little bit darker, but it's not too dark once you apply it. Now we're going to conceal the top of our brow. And you do that, I like to lay my brush flat to my forehead. So flat. Okay? If you can touch your face with your product and you can't see it, it's an exact match. Yep, it's an exact match. Okay? Let's conceal the top of your brows. Just like that. So you're just gonna drag it, come around, come down. Y'all see that? Drag it, come around, and down. That's it, that's all. Take your setting brush, blend that concealer out. Because you don't want to see that line. You don't want to see that. Blend it out. Okay? Just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Now I know you like, well, Queen, what we gonna do with this right here? Let me show you. Take some concealer, dab it in the middle. Take your brush, blend it. Lightly brush them. You're gonna lightly brush in the front of your brow, just like I'm doing, to blend it out. Then you can also take your spoolie and move that product over a little bit to give it like an ombre effect. Okay? Your brows should look like this. If you did them correctly, we here. You my girl, we is here. Next step.